Welcome to the Asshole Book Club. Uh, as you may or may not have noticed, I chopped all of my hair off because it was very brittle from all the times I dyed it. And I thought I'd let it grow back and hopefully be more healthy. Today, I'm going to be looking at some D&D content that I've been given express permission to review. And by that I mean the creator said go for it through an email. The site I'm looking at is called D&D Unleashed, and the creator of everything here is a person who calls themselves Benevolent Evil, which is why I chose to wear my ram skulls. They are heavy. This website has a lot of subclasses, race options. There's even rules for prestige classes and a bunch of feats, all for D&D 5th edition. And I don't know which specific subclass I want to look at today. I'm gonna do 3 subclasses today, so I don't know. How about the Green Thumb Sorcerer? And I will have the link to this website in the description of the video, in case you don't want to type D&D Unleashed into a search engine. Alright. Green Thumb, a subclass for sorcerers. You carry an innate magic connected to the spirits of nature and flora, such as plants and fungi. There might be dryads among your ancestors, or your mother could have been infested with a magical fungus when you were in the womb. Gross. Maybe you were born in a druid's grove during a solstice, or perhaps you were touched by the magic of an archfey as a young child. The primal power that flows through you will inevitably affect you and your surroundings. Many sorcerers of the Green Thumb find that they are different from childhood, and as they age, the oddities only grow. And you can pick or roll from a chart of quirks to help make your character. There's 8 options for your quirks, and they are: your eyes are an emerald green, and your skin, which is faintly greenish, is covered with a fuzz that is like a peach. Number 2 is you smell like flowers in blooms, and you attract the friendly attention of pollinators like bees. Number 3, while standing, you always find yourself leaning in the direction of the sunlight if you see any, like a sunflower. Number 4, plants within 10 feet of you will sometimes randomly bloom even out of season. That one's pretty cool. Number 5, you prefer to take your long rests while partially covered or buried in fresh soil if possible. Number 6 is flowers grow naturally from your hair as if they had been woven there, and mushrooms can be found sprouting from your body in places. Number 7 is one or both of your thumbs are actually green. And number 8, when you leave tracks over soil, seeds from random plants are sowed in your footprints. So all of these would make for interesting roleplay options, which is the purpose of quirks. And I think the quirks thing should be in a lot more classes, honestly, give people a little bit of a nudge to roleplay their character more. At first level, you get plant magic. Starting at first level, you add both the new Razor Leaf cantrip and the Thorn Whip cantrip to your sorcerer class list. You also learn additional spells when you reach certain levels in this class, as shown on the plant spell table. Each spell counts as a sorcerer spell for you, but it doesn't count against the number of sorcerer spells or cantrips you know. These spells can't be replaced when you gain a level in this class. At first level, you gain Entangle and a Leaf Shield, which is a new spell. And let me know if you want me to cover the new spells in a separate video. At third level, you get Bark Skin and Spike Growth. At 5th level, you get Plant Growth and Speak with Plants. 7th level, you get Grasping Vine and Stockade Sprouts. And then at 9th level, you get Awaken and Tree Stride. Overall, a pretty solid spell list, I think. And I'm pretty sure none of these appear on the sorcerer spell list. So you're getting like all new stuff that you wouldn't otherwise be able to use. Also, at first level, you get Blooming Vitality. You rest as deeply as a plant and you bloom with verdant life. When you're struck, this extra vitality wilts, but it will bloom again in time. Whenever you finish a long rest, you gain temporary hit points equal to half your sorcerer level. Well, that's nice. Especially with how little health you're going to have as a sorcerer. And also at third level, you get Botanical Mastery. You know how to make the most of your connection to plants. When you cast the Thorn Whip or Razor Leaf cantrips, you roll the same number of damage dice as normal, but they are d10s instead of d6s. When you cast the new Leaf Shield spell, you're considered proficient with the shield you create while you're wielding it without using any hands. Finally, you have advantage on ability checks made to cultivate or tend plants or to socially interact with plant creatures. I mean, that's pretty good. Thorn Whip is already a good cantrip, and Razor Leaf, I took a look at it a little while ago, and it's also pretty solid. Raising the damage from a d6 to a d10 is pretty damn good. At 6th level, you get Spell Seeds. You gain the ability to plant magic seeds in the wounds of your enemies to sprout into sorcery. When you deal a creature force, necrotic, piercing, poison, or slashing damage using a sorcerer spell, you can pay 1 sorcery point to plant a hidden magical seed in the creature that lasts until you finish a long rest. While a creature is seeded by you, you cannot plant any additional magical seeds in it. As an action, you can choose one creature that you have seeded, causing the seed to sprout from its body and bloom into magic. You cast a spell that has a casting time of 1 action, or 1 bonus action, expending spell slots and requiring components as normal, but the spell is cast from the seed's location instead of your own. If the spell targets a creature, you must include the creature as a target. If the spell targets a point or location, it must target the seeded creature's location. If the spell normally requires you to see the target, you can ignore that requirement. If you make a spell attack against the target as part of the spell, the attack ignores AC bonuses granted by shield's cover and disadvantage. If a seeded creature is in sunlight when you sprout its spell seed, you can add your charisma modifier to 1 damage roll of the spell. That's pretty crazy, honestly. Like, if someone tries to run from you and you manage to just hit them with a cantrip that does one of the requiring damages, you can later just blow them up with a fireball or something similar. And it says that you can only put 1 spell seed in 1 creature, in the creature you target, but it doesn't say that there's a limit to the number of creatures you can target. So as long as you want to spend your sorcery points, you can just implant stealth fireballs in as many creatures as you want, provided you have the sorcery points. At 14th level, you get Virtuous Soul. you learn to restore your body by drawing power from nature as plants do. You can use a bonus action and spend 1 to 5 sorcery points while you're within bright light or a body of water, regaining 3d6 hit points for each sorcery point spent. Either the light must be sunlight or the water must be clean enough to see through and not acidic enough to deal damage. Also, when you take a short rest in such a place, you can regain a number of hit points equal to your sorcerer level plus your charisma modifier. Once you do, you can't do so again until you finish a long rest. Finally, you can feed yourself for a day without eating anything by staying in both sunlight and clean water at the same time for at least 1 hour. So that's pretty nice. It's flavorful. The healing has a potential of healing you for 15d6 points worth of healing. Like, that's pretty good. And then you can get, like, starting at this, up to 19 points of healing just on a short rest. That's going to come in handy a lot. And if you're doing a survival type campaign, the not needing to eat as long as you have sunlight and water is also pretty nice. And finally, at 18th level, you get Tree of Magic. You can use an action on your turn to plant a magical tree in an unoccupied space within 5 feet of you. The tree grows instantly to full size, its trunk is 3 feet in diameter and occupies its space. And the tree is up to 20 feet tall, but obstacles can constrain its height. The tree glows with magic and is immune to damage, but it's still a physical object. It's tangible, it provides cover, and it can be climbed, etc. When the tree appears, you can imbue the tree with one sorcerer spell you know of 5th level or lower, but you must spend sorcery points equal to the spell's level to do so. The spell must target only one creature, and it can't be a cantrip or have a range of stealth. The tree lasts for 1 minute or until you lose your concentration, as if you are concentrating on a spell, and it provides the following benefits for the duration. It sheds bright light in a 30-foot radius and dim light for an additional 30 feet. Each creature of your choice within 30 feet of the tree has advantage on saving throws against spells and on any spell attacks it makes using a cantrip. If you imbue the tree with a spell, each creature of your choice that enters the area within 30 feet of the tree for the first time on a turn starts its turn there, becomes affected by the imbued spell as if you had cast it on it, requiring no concentration. The spell ends immediately on the creature when it is no longer within 5 feet of the tree. So, yeah, that is the Green Thumb Sorcerer. The final ability, the Tree of Magic, I think is pretty interesting. Like, it would take a lot of playing around with to see which way you want to use it best, but it is an action to use, so you're giving all of your allies in an aura, basically, advantage on spell saves and attacks on cantrips, so that's nice. And you can give every single one of them haste if you want to. No concentration required, because you're concentrating on the tree. Or, another spell. And overall, I think this is a very solid and thematic subclass. And if you want to try playing a Green Thumb Sorcerer for yourself, go to dndunleashed.com or just click the link in the description. And thank you to Benevolent Evil for giving me permission to review your stuff. I appreciate all of the work that you put into making your subclasses, and I look forward to reviewing more of them and the spells and all of the other things you've made, because just the amount of work you've put into it is pretty incredible. And I think more people should, know about your site and recognize everything that you've done. Anyway, if you've made it to the end of this video, thank you so much for watching. Please like and subscribe. Comment if you would play this subclass and what kind of build you would go with. And yeah, have a good day, everyone. I will see you later.